Welcome back, Camden Catholic. We're going to keep this pretty short, sweet, and to the point, right? Now, we talked in class today about how the Byzantine Empire is the eastern half of the Roman Empire that actually didn't fall along the western half, right? And remember, the western half of the empire fell due to barbarian invasions, the splitting of the empire, bad leaders, and then also the trade decline, which means their money is going to lose a ton of value, right? So, anyway, but the guy that brought the Byzantine, who started the Byzantine, of course, was who again? Good job, Katie Walsh. Constantine, right? And then who actually do you think brought the Byzantines to their biggest height? It's this guy named Justinian, right? So brought Byzantine to its peak. He ruled from 526 AD to 561 AD. But the most important thing about it is that he rebuilt Constantinople in grand style, but then also he invented a new type of law. What types of law have we talked about so far? Boom! Good job, John Tomes. Hammurabi's Code. What's another type of law we've talked about before? Anybody? Anybody? Boom! Good job, fifth period. I heard all of you, right? So anyway, so especially I heard Harrison Keller back there, unfortunately, right? We talked about the 12 tables, right? Which one of those two is the publicly posted version? Okay, good job, Caleb McRae. The 12 tables is publicly posted. And then which one of them, and what is Hammurabi's Code based off of? Good job, Natalie. Eye for an eye, right? So civil law invented by Justinian is called Justinian's Code, okay? And civil law is law that applies to all people, no matter what your class is, right? And this is actually the book of Justinian's Code, right? Very, very large. It's very, very encompassing, and I'll give you some other like really cool factoids about it tomorrow, right? So, and that right there is Justinian. Now, really quickly looking at that picture of Justinian, you can tell a huge difference between Byzantine art compared to other types of art, right? Byzantine uses a lot of tile work, and it's two-dimensional, okay? Now, you're going to see a giant leap forward when we move to the Italian Renaissance with depth, 3 dimensions, all this other stuff. So, anyway, Justinian was an autocrat, which means he was a sole ruler with complete authority. So, following the fall of the Roman Empire, what did the Romans abandon? Anybody going to answer that question? Good job, Sierra. They abandoned things like the consuls and the Senate. What else? The tribunes. Good job, Liam Barnett. Like, they abandoned all those things, right? And Justinian was a sole autocrat. However, he ruled alongside with one other person. Who do you think it was? That's a coin actually invented under his reign. Who do you think helped him rule? Anybody? Any of my feminist folk out there? Anybody? Good job, Kaylee. His wife, right? His wife Theodora ruled alongside of him. So she was ruthless, she was a big-time politician, and she was Justinian's main advisor and co-ruler. So the Byzantines actually were partially ruled by a woman, right? Very, very interesting. But unfortunately, they're going to be going down as well. So this is Justinian and his wife Theodora. A couple of interesting things about this this tile work itself is, first of all, that Justinian is in the background, not in the forefront. Theodora is in the front. Actually, Theodora was very well known for condemning a lot of people to execution. She's a very tough ruler, right? So, strong military under Justinian, also had an army and a navy equipped with this stuff called Greek fire. Very, very neat, right? So this is Constantinople over here, and you can see the large wall and then the water on all 3 sides. You can see right here where Constantinople is actually keeping an invasion by water at bay, using the walls and also using the river itself. This right here, that actually is really, really cool. Write this down. J-A-G-A, and then space, and then S-O-P-H-I-A, the Hagia Sophia, right? It was one of the largest Christian temples ever built, but then when the Turks took over, it's actually a mosque now. So we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. But up here in the top left, that's a picture of Greek fire being used, right? It was the Byzantinians' main weapon that they like to use against other invading hordes. And the coolest thing about it was it was a burning batch of oil that actually, when it got onto these other boats, it was scalding oil. And if you tried to put water on an oil fire, what happens? It gets bigger, right? So it actually was a very, very neat thing. And this dude right here is just having a bad day. It's like a terrible Monday. He's just getting blasted in the face. So anyway, the Byzantine actually began to shrink after the rule of Justinian, right? The Byzantines were attacked by several different people. The Slavs, the Persians, the Vikings, and the Huns, and the Turks, right? So all of these people from the eastern side began to invade them after what side of Rome fell? Good job, the western side, right? So right there is actually a big siege of the Turks. The Turks are going to be the people that take them over out the gate, right? So the Byzantine church also was a very, very important thing. When I ask you the 2 types of Orthodox Christian churches, how many are there? There's an Eastern one and a Western one. This actually started in the Byzantine Empire, right, by a very cool sounding event. So the king was the Patriarch, or the church leader, and he's right there back behind. But what happened is the church in the Byzantine actually split. Just like the Roman Empire, the church split as well, right? It was Eastern and Western Orthodox is going to pop up. So after Justinian, this is due to the differences in worship, right? The Eastern Orthodox people began looking at the statues of saints and the statues of martyrs and things like that people were praying to. They began looking at it as this goes against the Ten Commandments. This is a false idol. You shouldn't have any statues of anyone except for Jesus in here. And then the Westerners were like, well, look, we're paying homage to these saints and what they did for our cause. So they actually split in this event known as the Great Schism. Just say it one time. Schism. Say it slow. Schism. Great Schism. So anyway, they just went whack, and they actually went two different directions. So now we have Eastern Orthodox Christians, and then we also have Western Orthodox with your traditional Roman Catholics, right? So anyway, the Byzantine is eventually going to fall, right? And the Crusades in 1090 were actually the thing that left Byzantine very small and very weak, because that's actually what everyone was invading. The Muslims were invading at the time. So Constantinople is going to be conquered by the Turks. Many famous Christian sites are still there, and many people still make pilgrimages to Constantinople, which is now actually today, write this in, called Istanbul, right? So good job, Matt Glass, I heard you. And that is the flag of Turkey. So Turkey is now where Constantinople used to be and the Byzantine used to be. So anyway, that's all for today. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Like I said, we moved very fast. You get your study guide tomorrow. We're going to bang this bad boy out, all right? Y'all have a great evening, Camden Catholic.